am behind today by 3 minutes. Welcome. Thursday Night Live. Thanks for joining. I don't see anybody online, but there's a delay between the time I connect and the time you guys see me connect. So I'm always like, is anybody gonna show up? Hi guys. Thank you for joining. Welcome. Oh my God, I have so much material for tonight and I want to see what you guys want to talk about also. So we're going to have a busy hour. We might go a few minutes over because I was behind. Your first live, hi. Hi, Sandra. I know you just joined because we talked about it. Lisa, I heard about, I skim read one of your emails. I skim read all of the emails. Some people write me very, very long emails. So, but I know about, the house and everything is great news. So I'm just so happy for you guys. There's been a lot of success stories this week, like a lot. And I'm just really, really excited. We'll talk about some of them. We'll talk about some things maybe we don't like and how we overcome it. It's all about, this process is not about we're never going to encounter bad things in our lives or things that are going to test us. Of course we will. And we will forever. It's just our ability to react differently and our ability to refocus will be the key in terms of how long they stay in our lives. These challenges I'm talking about. Okay. So let's get right into it. The 60-day challenge, a lot of people are restarting it. I have people that have been with me since like end of May. When I put it out, I believe it was May. And then, I have people who just want to do it over and over or they stumbled halfway through and they're restarting. Guys, the goals that you set have to be achievable in your mind. Remember, we talked about this many times. The goals that you set have to be achievable in your mind. Right? So we talked about how if you have $10 in your bank account, setting a goal of, it's now October, by December, I'll have 2 million. Okay. Your brain, it's not that it's not possible. Anything is possible, but your brain will go in shutdown mode. So I don't want that to happen. I would rather you convince yourself that this is real and it's possible and it's happening to people, right? So this is why we do the weekly challenges. This is why you have individual small challenges. 1 second, guys. I have to decline this call. Guys, please don't call me. I don't take calls during my lives. And so, when you have the small success stories, you can go incremental very fast. You can go to 2 million, but probably not, like I'm talking in your mind, probably not between October and December of the same year if you've never manifested anything before or if everything you manifested was, I don't know, $5 on the street. 10 million was a bit high, so I'm restarting after my 60-day end. Yeah, Queen, make it believable in your mind. And then as you're achieving it, right? Like you're saying, oh, I want, $10,000 a month. When you're achieving that, if you look at anybody who's achieved that, who talks about it online, they all said, oh, I thought I wanted 5,000. When I got to 5,000, I said 10,000. When I got to 10,000, I said 30,000 and so on, right? But if their mind went like, I'm going to get next month 60 grand a month, they don't get it. And the brain goes like, this doesn't work. It doesn't work. Okay. So forget about it. Right. So you're back to your 9 to 5, 600-day challenge now. All right. So, I'm going to read two little success stories. One of them is they're sort of multifaceted. So I only read things that, that help the group. Right. So this queen says, I'm so excited right now. So much has been happening this last week, from my relationship amicably ending to my 6-year roommate moving out within days of each other. So these are endings, okay? They're endings. And I told you guys, when you start to do this work, a lot of existing structures will crumble, and that's not a bad thing. So don't be scared about that, right? And yet I know, she says, I know that this is all part of the divine flow. Roommate left full deposit as we fixed his things ourselves, clothes swap at the girlfriend party tonight, have lots of new wardrobe bits. So she's finding this joy in all the small manifestations. Then she's saying, my sales are flowing. She has an online business, I guess, so gorgeously, and my work is in demand. My hair is growing super long, starting weight training in my sports group, which I've wanted to do for a while. I'm organizing admin with finances this week and to make an energetic shift for more income. Right? So she's picked up momentum right now in all areas of her life. And this is the right time to ask for more income. She's not going from zero to asking for $10 million, right? And she's saying, I have a lot of business ideas, which I'm following up. Plus, I really feel freed up from my last relationship to make delicious space for my counterpart's arrival. Okay? She knows this relationship. She's not trying to change the relationship. She's basically let go, but with happiness in her heart, knowing that this is a cleanse. And sometimes the relationship we start out with, right, when we're working on ourselves, when we're doing manifestation work, which is all about self-concept and self-image, we know we can't take those people with us. We know, because we probably don't even want, like, the work on us is so focused on us that whatever happens with whatever we have going on. And if they want to go, they can come back a better version of themselves or not, because somebody else will come, get it? This is the attitude that she got into while she's doing this, right? And so this is sort of what I want you guys to do. That's why, I put out 100 ask-formation on my YouTube page today, which is like 100 affirmations, but put in a question form. I sort of got it as a download. I wrote it out in like 20 minutes. It's not like I thought about what I was going to say. And then I just recorded it, and I think I need like a proper microphone. But anyways, the point is these questions will help your mind think on solutions. So if I say, how come I'm so abundant and new opportunities are given to me all the time? Your brain will start to think, that's the theory behind this ask-formation. Your brain will start to think, hey, how come, I have all these new opportunities? So it's immediately looking for opportunities. I'm glad you watched it. Thank you. I know quite a few people already watched it. The second success story, this queen says, 2 minutes ago, my SB gave me a call. Because I didn't know the number, I answered the call. After 3 months of no contact and doing the 60-day challenge, he called me. I told him I changed the city I live in, I'm in a relationship, and I don't want any male friends. I actually forgot about him. I even forgot his name. Oh my God, I love that. Okay? That's the thing. She starts out the 60-day challenge trying to manifest the SB. And then when he calls her during the challenge, she realizes she has already manifested somebody else much better. And she forgot about him. Isn't that cool? I find, look, you have to allow space for the fact that you might end up wanting something different. Because if you're thinking, I want this and only this will make me happy, then you're not actually allowing for change, right? You actually just want to keep this person that you are right now that wants, let's say, him. But it's not just about him or a certain job or something. This person you are today wants him, right? The person you become, you don't know what she's gonna want. Get it? So the problem is when you hold him up on a pedestal, or this job or this city you wanna live in, what happens is you're not allowing for this organic change within yourself. You're assuming a year from now, I'll feel the same way about this person, but you don't know that. Right? You really don't, I'm allowing that I might want something else because I want to become better. And as I become incrementally better every day, that means that slowly the old person is shedding and renewing herself all the time. She's going to have different things to offer the world. She's going to want different things from the world. And this is a beautiful thing, right? Thank you. Thank you for the compliments, guys. All right. Now here's an interesting story. So this queen comes, these are all my Facebook stories, okay? It's for my Facebook group. And I just feel like people are so connected in our group. It's really amazing. So this queen is saying, missed the boat. My son's father, so her ex, let's call him her ex-husband. My son's father stole one of her manifestation for a relationship. Last manifestation he stole was the $500. I know I need to keep reaffirming, but is there any other way I can increase my chances of my manifestations coming to me and not to the people around me? So this is what happens. I said, I didn't really understand what's going on here because it's like a crazy story. So 2 manifestations he stole from her, right? So I said to her, your ex manifested $500. I said, be happy for him. There's nothing else you can do because we can't really easily untangle the cords that we have with other people. Everyone you've ever touched and or loved and or hated has a cord to you. The strength depends on, sorry, I didn't put the whole message here, but the strength of this cord, okay, is dependent on how much they're still able to access your energy system. And if they're accessing it enough, if they're siphoning enough energy still out of you, again, these are people maybe you loved, maybe you hated, maybe you loved and now hate, but they're able to access you, right? Like a hacker in a computer. That's what's happening, right? So I told her just be happy for him. And I also I didn't say this in the message, but for everyone, this is why we say keep your manifestation private. Do not tell them about it. I'm not sure if she told them or not. In any event, she's saying he is stealing my manifestations. I was manifesting someone for months, doing the inner work, and yet he gets his person that's been rejecting him for 8 months to finally commit. I really care about this. How can I protect my manifestations from going to him? So she knows a lot about her ex's life. So this means they're friends, probably. They're on friendly term. And look, if you can't, you have to actively take a step to disconnect your energy from another person that you've been entangled with, right? If you're entangled with them, especially if you have a child with them. So if there's children, there's him, there's you, there's children, right? These energetic connections can happen. They just pass right through this previous family, or it passes through the children. And the only way to disconnect, really, truly to disconnect, is really if everyone else in the family distancing themselves from this one person. So for example, it's not enough that she distances herself from him. Also, the son would have to distance himself energetically from him. So I'm not saying this is what should happen. I'm telling you how to cut the cords, or how these connections are able to be cut. This is why some men are able to, when they leave their families, they meet other women, they have other families, and they never think about this original family, right? Because really all the cords are cut. All the people rejected each other, right? But if it's just a couple that rejects themselves, it's through the kids. They may not have cut those cords, and they may never be able to cut those cords. Just the way it is, right? And so after she says this, so after we had this conversation 2 days ago, she comes back today and she said she's gotten her $500, and there was another financial manifestation that she posted I didn't really understand, which was $1,800. But this is what happened to her, because this was a sincere question. It wasn't like a complaint or a venting. She was really asking, hey, universe, how come all my manifestations are going to the ex? I said $500 and it went to him. So the universe 2 days later delivers her the $500. So imagine the story, right? Like I'm sitting here, I wrote this down. I'm going to talk about this during the live. I'm going to talk about energy cord cutting, which I don't do, but there's many programs, systems on the internet that teach you how to do that. So I'm telling her, you need to disconnect from him energetically. You need to stop telling him. If you are telling anyone your manifestation, just keep it for this group, okay, if needed, right? Like the 500 is obviously one of our common manifestations. So, and then the universe actually delivers to her 2 days later what she said that he stole. Because there's no such thing as not enough. As if he got 500, this means I can't get 500. In fact, the universe delivered her way more than that, right? Because, why? Because in her saying, hey, this was supposed to be mine, the universe created more opportunities. I want you guys to be very, very clear on this, okay? It's not like the pie is this big, and if you get a slice or if he gets a slice, there's less left for you. Okay, I know our whole world is structured this way, right? Since from school, there's one prize, and if you don't get it, or only 3 people can get a prize. Jobs, there's a limited amount, there's a limited supplies. Lottery wins, there's one lottery winner for the jackpot, and so on, right? So we're trained to think this way. But we don't realize that really, if you put a sincere question and you say, hey, I've been asking you this. Remember that the formless substance is completely neutral, right? So once in a while, you need to remind it, hey, listen, I placed this code. I coded in here $500 for me, right? I didn't get it. When you delivered it to my ex, it wasn't to me. And the formless substance is like, oh, okay, here you go, right? Because sometimes it thinks it's delivered it to you. Right? We talked about this, about accepting when your friend manifested the exact man you wanted, or the qualities of the man you would have wanted, which happened to a queen in our group. If you accept that, hey, that was my man, that was my manifestation, the universe is like, yeah, I delivered. I delivered to somebody you're energetically connected to. So what you have to tell it is, no, you haven't. You haven't delivered. But without thinking, oh, look, she got this man and he's like tall and handsome and a millionaire and he has black hair and blue eyes and whatever else she put there. That means there's less men out there now for me who have black hair and blue eyes, multimillionaire and this tall. Do you see what I mean? The mind immediately goes there. If my friend took one off the market, what are the odds for me? Now all of a sudden you're thinking statistics, right? What are the odds for me to manifest this guy again for myself? Like, forget it. It's like a once in a lifetime, and she got it, So I don't want you guys to think that way ever. When somebody else gets your manifestation, it doesn't mean there's less supply of that which you wanted. It has nothing to do with that. It's just the universe being like, I heard you. Okay, now it's your time to say, but you heard me, but you mis-executed on this. Right? Don't be like, oh, what can I do? It's infinitely more intelligent than me. So, I guess it determined I wasn't a servant. It doesn't think that way. It doesn't think human, right? We don't compete exactly. We create. We don't compete. So when you create, it's not like you're taking a piece from something that's already existing. And so now there's less. If your friend takes a piece, your ex takes a piece, there's less. There's less and less chances for you. None of that. Switch your mind around for that. But I kind of like this story, right? I have another one. If you guys have questions as I'm talking about the material, feel free to ask it. Because I go through things fast. I always want to cover everything that I noted from the week. What do you do when we accidentally accept something that wasn't the full delivery? It doesn't matter if you start it again as if it's a new manifestation. As long as you acknowledged, oh yeah, the sum of money I manifested, my cousin got it, right? And then I was like, oh my God. So, we did get the 20 grand came into my life, but it just went to her, So now I've accepted it. Now a week later, I realize, oh, this is what I've done. Right? I've accepted it. So now what I'm going to do is be like, I'm placing an order for $20,000 or whatever it is that you wanted. And this is my order. I want tall man, blue eyes, whatever we talked about. The girl whose friend manifested the man she wanted. Do the list again and be like, hey, you haven't delivered on this. I'm still waiting on this. The universe is like, oh, you delivered to her. Yeah, but I'm still waiting on this. So just put it in as a new manifestation. Say it out loud. Write it. I'm still writing about this. This hasn't been fulfilled for me. When is this coming? I declare that by December 31st, I will meet this man. I declare that by a certain date that's believable to your brain, I have earned $30,000 or $50,000, whatever it is you want. Okay, so make a new declaration. Start fresh. Say out loud. Use your speech, right? This queen says, okay, now this is like to me, it was an interesting story. So she says, I recently started the 60-day challenge. I found you on TikTok and immediately purchased the challenge and the Facebook membership as I felt so drawn to what you were saying. Initially, I was excited to start, and then something started to happen. I realized I was getting extremely triggered by your teaching for no apparent reason. I knew on a deep level that it was not about you. And as I had had this issue before, in the past, I would have given up on the challenge and convinced myself it would not work. But this time, I really didn't want to give in to my triggers. I was determined to keep going. Then something shifted for me and a realization came into my mind. I know many people say that their family, mainly parents, created some of their limiting beliefs about the world. However, for me, a lot of my beliefs came from teachers and school. I realized when I was watching your lives, I was being triggered by being a student again. My mind was often trying to find ways to disapprove things and find issues. It was so exhausting, and I felt upset as I was so excited to do the challenge. The more I was triggered, the more my mind kept telling me to give up on the challenge. This example shows me how deep some belief systems can go. I won't go into details, but many traumatic things happened to me while I was in my schooling system. I'd been in school from 4 years old to 21 years old, including university, and the confines are overwhelming. This is many years of programming. So many of my beliefs about myself came from teachers, as my parents were immigrants to a new country and could not give me the care I needed. So I relied on teachers for interactions. I was a very trusting child and trusted my teachers implicitly. My experience as a student was very painful. I was hurt many times as a child. Today I realized one of my earliest memories of my teacher telling all children how upset and devastated she was because she was getting divorced. I was so young and I didn't even know what marriage was. However, her story stayed with me for a long time. Hurt and pain that never belonged to me. Anyway, this is the first time in my life that I realized how impactful my traumatic school experiences have been, even impacting my relationships. And this is the first time I'm actually sharing it with someone. I'm hoping it will help me finally release beliefs that do not serve me. Also, I wanted to thank you from the bottom of my heart for doing what you do. And she concludes with other thanks. Here's the thing. This story spoke to me because this requires a really large degree of ability to analyze yourself. Okay? And so when you want to do something, like in her case, the 60-day challenge, or you want to do something else, like move to another city, put your profile online to date again, the first thing that happens is your limiting beliefs will try to stop you. I am saying this again and again ever since I started this account. And if you guys don't take this seriously and don't take a real analytical approach to what your mind is doing, remember, you're not your mind. Okay? What the mind is doing, like the mind was triggering her. What the mind is doing, you have to observe. So you are the observer. You are the awareness. You move from the mind, the logical thinking, oh, I'm triggered, I got to do this, to why am I having these thoughts? Why is it that this is triggering me? Why is it that somebody cutting me off on the road can put me in such a state of anger and, I can't calm down of this anger? Why is it that, I don't know, a politician who doesn't even know about my existence can trigger me to this level, right? Why do you think the way you do, and why do you feel the way you do? And in her case, she went very deep, right? She understood that there's always a place in our lives where we absorb more than other places, right? So for her, while she was in school, she understands everything about the way she sees the world was shaped there. It's not like that for all kids. Sure, the school puts a lot of limiting beliefs, but a lot of them get undone at home, or, maybe even if they're good beliefs, at home, the parents or the system can undo them. And it's sort of like a balance between family and what they teach you and the friends you interact with, and it's observing the world, observing the news. But in her case, it was heavily skewed towards the teachers because she was looking up to them. She was looking, her brain was instruct me in how I need to think, right? So I want you guys to go into this thought pattern every time you have a trigger. And I want you to do something else, okay? I want you to remember that everything you put out there comes back to you. And this is how you remember. At your moment of trigger, please make your brain right now absorb this one idea if you're going to take anything tonight. At your moment of trigger, while you feel it coming, while you feel it's something uncomfortable, maybe you're about to explode, but you haven't yet, see a huge, large mirror. coming from the sky, just vertically straight down. Okay, this mirror is like coming, not shattering, just like coming right here, everywhere. It's surrounding you. And as you're being triggered, as you're about to explode, remember, that is the person you're exploding on. Okay, the person you see in this mirror, this is what happens at the moment of trigger, right? It comes if you allow yourself to explode and to feel this way. Remember where it's going. This is important. Okay? And with this visual, I guarantee you, you're going to think twice. Because you need to think twice. You're going to go in your analytical mode. You're going to see, when you see the mirror, you're like, I need to understand why. I want to escape this cycle. I want to escape my triggers. I want to not be bothered by things that don't mean anything, really. In the long scheme of things, a year from now, I'm not going to remember them. 5 years from now, definitely not going to remember them. Okay? So, let me just put this on silent. So, this was a very good story. I found it very, very, inspiring for the whole group to go in analytical mode. Okay. Now, not such a pleasant one, but again, I take up the ones that really benefit the group to understand where they're at and how they can move forward. So this queen emails me and says, "Hi Mona, how are you? I just wanted to ask you this. Ever since I started the work," she's doing the challenge, "I started making improvements and actively making changes to change my life. But as I'm manifesting money, I'm noticed the more I try to manifest it, the tighter money gets. Sometimes I ran out of food and money that I would be gifted for food, or a $20, there would be some money I would be gifted for food, or a $20 here and there. I don't understand why it is so hard to bring money in my life. Even with a little side hustle, I don't have any sales. I am really confused about this. The only thing I'm able to manifest is food. Even though I got some things from the challenges, I am just lost right now, not able to wrap my head around this," right? So she's manifested a few things from the challenges we put together as a group, which I told you guys we do in order for your brain to understand that this is possible, and it's possible for more than one person at the same time, right? So this should be proof enough for your brain that anything can be brought forward, especially with the power of the group. But here's what I wanted to say. We all start this challenge at a different point, a different social point, different energetical point, different vibrational point based on our life circumstances, right? And it's not like we have been taught since we were 2 years old to vibrate at our own vibration and whatever happens around us to be okay. No, we're taking our input from the output. We're taking it from outside. Okay, and we're taking it from let me see, I'm poor, So this is why, she's starting the challenge with a certain set of beliefs that they're not true for everyone who's starting the challenge. If you guys don't know who Abraham Maslow was, he was an American psychologist who put forward that he lived, I think he was born towards the beginning of the century, he was born around 1910, something like this, because he died in the 70s. And he put together this very, very famous theory. I'm just looking for the image of it that I saved. And it's called Maslow's hierarchy of needs, okay? And Maslow's hierarchy of needs, what he says is actually that if a person is here, okay, so the first need would be like food, water, what does it say here? Because it's backwards for me. Food, water, shelter, and warmth, right? That's the first basic level for us to exist. Then it goes to safety, employment, and assets. Then it goes to family, belonging, what is this? Friendship, intimacy, belonging. Then it goes to self-worth, what is this? So accomplishment, confidence, and then it goes to inner realization, inner fulfillment and potential, okay? So what I'm saying here is this is important, okay? Because what he's saying is if you're here or here, You can't jump from here to here. Okay? There's queens in our group, you know, who write to me, goes like, oh, I feel the need to pay because I am rich on dates, and men mistreat me. Okay, well, this person is here, right? She's already taking care of food, water, shelter, whatever. She's got employment, assets, whatever. She's got a support group for herself. And now she's like, needs to work a little bit on her self-worth, right? But this queen who wrote me this email about the food, she's here, right? She's at the very, very bottom of the pyramid. So she's not going to go from here to here, not overnight, and not without going through the realization of the other layers. There's like no way. So the only thing she says she can manifest seems to be food. Yeah, because in this fear-based mode, okay, this is where your mind is. Food, water, shelter, warmth, right? You're not going to worry right now, even like if your SP calls you necessarily, right? You're not going to be here. Because if you don't have food, you need to manifest food, right? And the vibration that she's starting with here, it's not going to self-actualize at the top of the pyramid. It's not, unless she finds a way to move from this vibration to at least employment, having some employment and assets. Okay, assets, you know, like it doesn't have to be owning a commercial building, right? But, you know, some assets, some to feel the safety, then she's not even like the self-worth right now is it's not a concern. It's not a concern when you don't have food for tomorrow. So the point about this pyramid is, number one, queen, I don't want you to put this pressure on yourself to manifest really big things, to change something really major, to have your SP call you, to have anything, okay? What I want you to do is to realize I'm here at the bottom, okay, the bottom of the pyramid. And I am staying in my affirmation that all of my needs are always met. All my needs are always met all the time. As you see more of your needs being met all of the time, and as you speak to the universe and you give instruction into the formless substance, when you're doing your entries, your affirmations are not about, you know, I'm the most beloved woman on the planet, and I'm the hottest woman and all men notice me, and, you know, I'm slim and wonderful. Your affirmations are going to be something that gets you out of this level. And they're going to be like, my God, I have to throw out food. When you're scripting, I have so much food, I don't know what to do with it. I don't understand, why is it that every time I turn around, do my ask affirmation, okay, from YouTube, why is it every time I turn around, all of my bills are already paid? I thought I didn't even pay all of them, but now all of it. You need to speak to yourself like this all the time, every day, okay? Because right now your mind is in survival mode. So from that survival mode, it can't move. Like, don't look at the queens in our group that do have food, shelter, assets, and employment and saying, oh yeah, my SPI and all men are crazy about me now. And you know, that's not, it's not just be happy for them, right? Just realize that right now you got to focus on, and I'm going to reply to your email and give you some more specific affirmations. I just want to think about this from your perspective, because I want to move you to into where you have an employment. I have such a good employment. I have such a, you know, do not aim too high, because it's too much of a change for your brain, okay? And I know like all the other coaches on this internet will tell you, put in your mind that assume that you have $2 million in the bank. It's not going to work for a brain that's been in survival all its life. It's just not going to work, okay? Yeah, can you give more affirmations from moving from the base level? Yeah, let me do a video on this, queen. I want to do a video from base level, and I'll reference Maslow's theory, because I think like a lot of people may be in this situation in general on the internet. So it's not a lot of people in our group, but you know, it's just, and kudos on her, on this queen who purchased the challenge when she doesn't have the money for food, because she wants, this is why I'm giving her so much time. I realize this is a huge trust she's placed in me and in us. And I know you can move out of the base level. I absolutely know, because you're committed to working on yourself, and you will do it. I promise you, I'm praying for you, and I know you will do it, okay? But just stay focused on all of my needs are always met. This is the best affirmation for you right now, and I'll do a video for everybody else. Yeah, if you've made the mistake of aiming so high, what happens is, it's not that it's impossible, it's your brain can cope with it. It can't cope with it, and it's not producing results for years and years. I know people who have said the same affirmation, but it's like really ridiculous. It's like, oh, I drive a Lamborghini or something like that. And I've been doing this affirmation for like 5.5 years. Do an affirmation that you're driving a brand new car and then see what happens. For just a brand new car, like when you're in your $2,000 car. So in what level you need to be to manifest more clients, money, and marriage? So you want to be in the, you're working here. So you're at the family, you feel, if you're feeling lonely, if you want to manifest here, you're right here, right? So this is not, it might be 90% fulfilled, right? You might have loving parents, you might have a great support system, but you're just looking for that husband. It doesn't mean that you're at zero at this level, right? But you don't have to worry really about your employment, where you're going to live and what you're going to eat. And now you're like, you have a good support group, or even if you don't, it doesn't matter. You just want a husband, okay? So you can exchange, you can work back and forth here, right? But as you're desiring this husband, as you're wanting this husband, you're working on your self-worth, on your confidence, on how you see yourself as a woman. You're not going to go here. Not at this point, okay? Not at this point. Because like right now, you just got to feel comfortable having all of these things below. Until you feel you have all of these things below and you raise your self-worth to a certain level, nobody's going here. Now, this guy Maslow, he was very interesting. Huh? He said some things that, they're common sayings in our culture. And I don't know if everybody knows that he's the one who says it. So here's some of them that I found. What a man can be, he must be. So obviously it refers to women as well. What a man can be, he must be, which means you must aim to realize your potential. You must aim to go through the pyramid levels. You must aim for that self-realization, because this way, with your intention, so he's saying basically the universe wants you to be actualized, to be self-actualized, right? But you're the one, and it will support you as you're going through, but you're the one who need to go through these levels. You know what? You can print Maslow's pyramid of the hierarchy of needs, and you can be like, I am here today, but by, I don't know, March 2024, I would have gone up 2 levels. You can just do that. Have the visual in your mind. Understand what's going on with your brain. It's very difficult not to understand, not to know, like, how come everyone's manifesting, like great dates and, wonderful job opportunities, and all I'm manifesting is food stamps. Yeah, because you're at that level, and that fear and that level of fear, you can't easily escape it, but you can escape it. Okay, keep the work. I will also reply a bit more detail to your email. Also from Maslow. If you only have a hammer, you tend to see every problem as a nail. This is a very common adage that we heard before. The ability to be in the present moment is a major component of mental wellness, of course. That means you're not in fear and you're not in this constant longing for the future. What is necessary to change a person is to change his awareness of himself. So him being a psychologist, right? He wasn't some new age spiritual guru. He's realizing this by studying the human mind. And all of these teachings, they've been available for a long time, right? They've been suppressed because really like what we're teaching, what we're taught is like, here's the brain, here's what lights up when you have a thought, and here's like, forget all that. Like, you don't need to know it. It's correct, it's biologically correct, but you don't need to know it. You just need not to let your mind dictate what you do. You, the awareness, have to dictate your mind to think correctly, to bring you through the life that you want. That's the switch. Yeah, he was ahead of his time. All right. What do I have here? And then I broke this live into 2 parts, and it's the first time I'm doing this. But let me just find a message that I want to talk about. But basically, the second part, I'm going to give some practical tips, because I know we're talking about manifestation and we're talking about a few things, but I want to make sure I touch on the behaviors we must change in order to effectuate whatever it is that we want to bring forward. And like this practical life tips that I give, you can take them or not take them. It's not going to bother me if you don't take them. It's fine. But in any event, I'm not there yet. I just wanted to warn you about that. All right. So this queen, she sends me a message. She sent me two messages actually. So the first, they're on different topics. So I want to address both of them. So the first one is, hi Mona, I'm going to purchase the 60-day challenge she did and begin this weekend. I've already watched many of your videos on TikTok and YouTube. I'm excited to begin, but I also have a lot of anxiety. Am I ready? Can I do this work? Will my mind allow it? So many doubts and fears, but I'm also hopeful. Can you maybe explain to me my anxiety and trepidation? I almost feel like this is my last hope. I want to maintain the excitement and really allow myself to enjoy this transformation. Well, here's the thing, queens. I think I don't know if it's we as women, but I really don't think like men have the same approach to things, right? So when we start something, we so much want this thing to produce this immense result in our lives. And I'm going to tell you that this pressure is self-inflicted pressure, okay? I made this thing available to everyone, really to connect to this group. It's something in me that needs to come out. I think it's this information that's out there about how to better ourselves or better our lives. It's an acceleration of consciousness right now on planet Earth that needs to get out. So there will be some people who will be tasked with this, right? They'll feel this impulse inside of them to give, right? So when I put this thing out, and it's like I made it $20 so anybody can afford it, right? It's no different than going to Sephora and spending the same amount of money on a lipstick. Is this lipstick really your last resort? Your last effectuated change? Like, is this lipstick when you go out there going to make you look like a supermodel? No, but it's going to make you feel better about yourself. When you look in the mirror, maybe other people won't even notice it, but you're gonna notice it, right? Please take the same approach to this work. This work, guaranteed 100%, will better you and will make you feel better. That's all. Approach this with no expectations, okay? You look at these queens that manifested all these things, and they did, and they do. Every result will be different. You don't need to put this pressure as my last hope. It's never a last hope for anyone. Anything you do is never last hope. The last man you dated is not the last hope for you to marry and have a child. The last program you did, it's not the last hope for you to change yourself. The last job you had was not the last chance for you to be promoted. None of this are every time you wake up. Hey man, you don't know you're gonna wake up tomorrow. This is what people don't realize. They have all these plans, and some of us won't wake up tomorrow. You know, not knock on wood, not on this life, but in the world, they just won't wake up, right? But if you woke up, right? Whatever happened and ended yesterday, let it end with yesterday. And today, and whatever is going forward, it's like, geez, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what I'm going to manifest, but here's what I know. I intend to have this kind of life, A, B, C, D, and I'm going to keep this intention alive and my attention on this intention every single day while I wake up. Now, throughout these days that I wake up, I'll do Mona's program. I will do this other thing. I will read this book. I'll meditate, and I'll do my part in every single way possible. Okay? And I have nothing to lose, because by doing all these things, that's the evolution of my consciousness through life. And it's not a waste of life unless you waste it. Unless you wake up and you get on, like you just do your 9 to 5 that you hate, you come home, barely like being able to have energy for anything, watch some TV and go to sleep. Okay? Scroll mindlessly. Whatever you do, put your focus on it. Be like, I want to manifest this. So every day I'm going to spend 45 minutes on my meditation and on doing this program. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm going to do this between October and December. And then I'm going to go the flow. I don't know what I'm going to do in January. Maybe I'll continue to do it because I love it. Maybe I won't continue to do it and I'll go buy another lipstick and do something else. So I want you guys to never think of anything as the last hope. Okay, this is very, very important. And don't place this excess potential on this expectations, major expectations. Be like, surprise me. Surprise me on how every day you can bring me closer to my intention. I'll do my part. I understand. I stumbled upon Mona's videos. You know, that's your prompt for me to do this work. No problem. I'll do it. And then we'll see what happens, right? And then I'll take inspired action. Okay, she then continues with another message. That's, you know, a separate topic. And she says, will we have the solution? She says, it's a lot of what I'm hearing, she says, it's what not to do or doing wrong. It's overwhelming, anxiety producing. Will we have solutions for what to do? I want my SB. He was good to me, but many factors went into his leaving. I don't hate all men and I don't think all men cheat. That's not something I have to get over. So many of the things women say they want, my SP gave me without asking. I believe my insecurities drove him away. That's what I want to fix. I have manifested him back several times, but like Mona says, he leaves again. I think that is because I still have an internal work to do. My question is, can I manifest him to stay if I do this work? Again, this goes back to your original message about putting too much pressure on the work. Remember, you're doing the work about yourself, not about him. Okay? Not about him at all. You're not doing this work as a last hope to manifest him to stay. And only because just because he treated you good doesn't mean there isn't 100 other men who are willing to do the exact same thing. Right? When you switch your mindset, I was blessed that I was instilled with this high sense of self-worth as a woman. But I tell you, I can't remember one man treating me badly in my dating life, That's all it takes. It just takes an inner switch in your mind. Now, of course, I had my own issue, my own problems. It's not like, everybody wanted to put a ring on my finger or anything like that, right? But the idea is, just because he did that doesn't mean he's the only one who do that. I want you guys to understand it's never the last hope. Don't think of it that way, okay? So if you're asking me, if I do this work, will I manifest him to stay? I have no idea. In truth, I have no idea. I just know that you doing this work, A, you're gonna feel better every single day. B, some things in your life are actually gonna go away. And hopefully you understand that you need to let some structures crumble. C, new things will come. You'll need to be very in tune with taking inspired and inner action, okay? And it's like that queen there who said, what did she say? Like, she just left this message. She's like, 2 minutes ago, my SP gave me a call. I didn't know the number. After 3 months of no contact and doing the 60-day challenge, he called me. She had forgotten about him. You have to allow yourself the possibility that may be you. She's in another relationship. She moved down for this new guy. She's done, right? You have no idea. Just for today, set your intention. You already got the challenge. So set your intention. I'm going to give this my 100%. And I'm going to come back with a success story, like Mona says in her instructions, at day 10. But really, ideally, every single week. I'm going to count every win I have. And I can only have wins. Whatever crumbles in my life, they're not losses. They're like steps that I need to gain bigger wins. I need to go through those steps to gain bigger wins. You know what I mean? That's how you should approach this work. All right, like I have like 10 more minutes. So I want to get more like into this practical tips. Okay, we talked about, and it came to me to tell you, okay? We talked about last live or 2 lives ago about the queen that had to make the choice between moving to the country she wanted to go to, she was stuck in a certain country, or for the same sum of money, freezing her eggs, okay? So I want to talk a little bit about eggs and fertility because it's such a topic. A lot of queens in my group are like maybe in their late 30s and really contemplating, do I have enough time to have a child? So I want to, it's not for them, but it's for future generations. If you have some money, if you have a daughter, if you have a niece, if you have a young woman that you care about, consider giving her the gift of fertility insurance. Young girls never think about these things, but I think right now it's just our generation of women are finding out that, it's not, when you're 21, you're not thinking about freezing your eggs. But really, I'm beginning to think you should. You should. Because you have no idea. You're like, oh, by 30, I will have like 3 kids and I'll live in my big house. You don't know. Like a lot of women end up starting to have those thoughts at like age 37, 38. And guys, we can have anything in life, right? Like we always say that. But biologically, a woman gets born with a certain number of eggs, right? Eggs are not produced. I don't know if everybody knows this. So they're not produced every month, right? Like we're born with them and then we lose them, we shed them, right? So the best biological age for a woman to have a child as defined in a scientific journal, do you guys know what it is? Do you guys know? I remember reading this in the early 2000s and I was like, oh my God, like that can't be it. Do you guys have any idea? Like this, I'm talking about biologically, the best age for a woman to have a child, biologically only. Anybody? 22, 24? They defined it. The journal Nature, the most respected journal of science, 18. Yeah, teens, 18. And they probably put 18 because they couldn't publish another age. You know what I mean? But 18, okay? So if you have a woman in your life that you care about, she's not going to think about freezing her eggs or forking that cost at 21, 22. But that's the best age probably for her to do it. Give her this gift. You know, it's a simple procedure, most likely very successful for a 21, 22-year-old. And if she doesn't need it, she'll destroy it as soon as she's had all the kids she wants to have. She'll destroy those eggs. And it's not, I don't think it's a waste of money. You know, I don't think. It's just an advice. Number 2, okay, somebody wrote to me about money and investment. And something like, oh, I put this money and I invested it and I didn't get what I wanted or what have you. But, you know, this person was, you know, like, I'm not going to have money to pay the mortgage or something like that. Here's what I want to give you a practical life tip. Never, like, every investment is a risk, okay? It's a risk. Unless you buy a government bond that's guaranteed while the government still exists, okay? Everything else is a risk. Never invest money that you need for basic survival. Okay, so you saw the Maslow hierarchy of needs. If you're number 1 over there, food, shelter, you're not investing that money. You're never investing that money. Okay, if you have like an extra, like it happened to me, like, oh, I got this extra 10 grand in 2021. I know I'm gonna buy crypto. I'm like, I'm gonna make this into like 50 grand. And it's now worth 3 grand. I didn't sell it though. So it might be worth 0 soon. The point is, I didn't need that 10 grand to pay for the basic. Because then that puts you in such a level of stress. Like easily my 10 grand could have been worth 30 grand. Okay, just happened to be worth now 3 grand. Okay. But if I needed to cash out in 2 months after making it in like 15 grand, right? I'm like, I'm going to pocket 5 and I'm going to keep the 10. If I needed it, like that stress, that fear, that vibration that you would offer every day, checking every day, never do this. Never do this with money you need. That would be my advice. All right. And then the third thing that I wrote down from the comments that I got. Okay, you remember when I give you guys dating advice and I say go for a coffee date first if you're just dating, you know, just to see what's like online dating and what have you. So the coffee date would be just to see if they match their profile and whatever. Somebody put a comment and says, I wanted to say about the coffee date advice. If the guy passes the test of the 30-minute coffee date, don't you think the ladies need to take those men for a test drive? I have lived a life and think the functions of the bedroom department is critical to the longevity of the relationship. So here's the thing. She's right about the last part, that the bedroom department is critical for the longevity of the relationship. The problem with, you know, jumping into checking that before checking if his life is suitable for you. First of all, guys, the first time with somebody is never good. It's never at its optimal potential. I don't know how you guys found it, but I found in relationships that are good, it's supposed to get better over time, right? As you get to know each other's bodies and everything. The first time is awkward for everybody. So it's not like if you take him for a test drive, you know, you're going to find like the absolute best that he's ever able to give, right? But more importantly is, what if you find out is really good, only to find out the next day that he lied about, you know, his job and he's talking to 3 other girls? And what do? Do you like cross your finger, hope he calls you again, hope you can experience that great feeling again? Now it's all up to him, right? It's all, God forbid you love it. God forbid you loved it. You know, now all of a sudden, the cards are in his hand, like the ace is in his hand, you know? It's like, you'll be like, can you please give me more? Yeah, but only after I take Jennifer and Maria out, you know? So, you know, I would say, look, I don't judge anybody for what they want to do. Energetically, I would not touch people that I don't know how they feel in their energy system. If you'll know what I'm talking about, if you ever touched people that are depressed or are, you know, low vibrational point, you will know that energy clings on you. A lot of people are depressed these days. So Please, if you're doing some work to purify your energy system, do not get involved with somebody who's not vibrating high, who's not, but more importantly, socially, listen, you got to determine how he's going to treat you, guys, because so much damage on women is left by past relationships. And yeah, there's a small percentage of us that can definitely enjoy intimacy just for intimacy's sake. That's a small percentage of us. I would argue the large percentage of women, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but the large majority of us, we do want the guy to call us the next day and ask us to go out on Saturday. No? I mean, it's taking something from you. It's a little crushing if he doesn't, no? And so, or if he only calls you because he wants to just do it again, So I would say, guys, the practical approach is protect your energy system, number one. Make sure he's not depressed, in a low state, in a low vibrational state, in a lot of fear himself, maybe about his own future. Never feel like you need to give somebody something physical of you in order to make them feel better. That will put your self-worth to zero, right? Because now you've become an object. You're self-objectifying, right? You're objectifying yourself as the object that's going to make this person feel good, if you touch them from that perspective. And so don't put yourself in that position. It's better to be on your own, do this work, test out the guy in his consistency. Is he calling you all the time? Is he asking you out? Is he making time for you? Is he paying attention to you? Then you can be like, okay, let's see what's going to happen. And then, yeah, you're right. You might find out 2 months later, 2 months after talking to him, that he's no good. So at that point, you're going to assess, is this like a no good that I can work with, that I can improve on, or is it just not going to work at all? But by this point, you already know you're attracted to him or not, okay? So you wouldn't be talking to somebody for a couple of months if you're not attracted to him. But by this point, you'd sort of like be like, okay. And if he's really no good, you'd be like, well, I met a good person. The bedroom department's not going to work for me. And I guess I got a pleasant interaction that didn't damage me at all. And so we move on, okay? Because like I said to that queen, at some point you can wake up in the morning and yesterday doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. That's all. Do you guys want to talk about something else? It's 8:00. I feel like I don't know how this practical advice, like if you guys hate it, like all my practical tips here on fertility and investment and when to be intimate with a man. I feel like we're spanning a wide range of topics right now. But, I sort of make these notes as we go along. If you guys don't want me to talk about this, if you're like, Mona, just stick with manifestation, okay? But I feel like it's all encompassing, right? It's really like you have to take a holistic approach to your life to see what works, what doesn't work. Guys, I love you guys. Thank you for being on my live. And, I want you to have so many success stories. You have no clue how much I'm invested in your success. Because your success is my success. Right? I can't wait for you to be successful and leaving me more success stories. And I feel like your success is energetically my success also. And it's not just because I have a success story. Let's put our hands together. Let's have a wonderful weekend. Let's ask the weekend to surprise us. Let's ask for goodness. Let's ask for all our needs to always be met. All our needs are always met all of the time. All of the time. And once our needs are met, we can do anything. Put your hands together for 369. I am a winner. One breath. I am a winner. 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 I am a winner.